right, so we need a formula that, so we'll just go ahead and write it down. The formula we need is data value equals the average plus your z-score multiplied by sigma. So you'll recognize that this does make sense looking at this picture. If we're after we want to know what exam score would land us in the 80th percentile, well, that's essentially the data value. So the data value that corresponds to the 80th percentile is going to equal the average plus some number of standard deviations. So recognize, here's your average, and then if you're adding so many number standard deviations, we already know the 80th percentile should be just shy of one standard deviation due to this chart. Here's my 80th percentile. If I follow that up, I'm just to the left of one standard deviation. So I need to go from my average plus probably 3/4 of a standard deviation. So that's the overarching idea. Now let's get down into the nitty-gritty. So data value is the average plus my z-score times sigma. Well, I know my mean, I know my average, that's 85, plus z, I don't know z yet, sigma, that's my standard deviation of 17, and this is going to equal my data value. So just as we stated up here, if you're trying to find the 80th percentile, we need to know the z-score for the 80th percentile. Recognize, once we know the z-score for the 80th percentile, it's a quick little multiplication, then add 85 to find the corresponding data value. So how the hell are we going to find the z-score? Well, this table. So you'll see this table, there's z-scores in one column, percentile in another. So recognize we are after the 80th percentile. So I need to go through my table and find the 80th percentile, or at least the closest one to it. Looks like it's right here. It's my 80.23. That's pretty close to the 80th percentile. And that tells me I have a z-score of 0.85. I told you it was going to be just under 1. So 85 plus my z-score, 0.85, multiplied by 17. Get out the calculator. 0.85 times 17, then add my average of 85. I get 99.45. So it looks like a data value of 99.45 will land us in the 80th percentile. So the 80th percentile is, round to the nearest whole number is needed. Well, nearest whole number, that's going to round down to 99. All right. So you'll recognize, essentially, we use this formula in all of our statistical calculations. So do take note of that one. That will be included on the equation sheet for the test. So don't have to memorize it, rather know how to use it. Okay, so I'll see you on the next video. The problem number 2 is much like problem number 1. So I'll see you on the next video where we tweak this a little bit.